Yes, I have a joke for all of you before the sermon. And this is about a boy. He was in high school. And there was a time when he got his driver license. So he approached his father and said, "Can I drive now the family car?" And the father said, "I want to make a deal with you." He said, "If you improve your marks at school, you clean up your room, and you cut your hair, I'm going to let you drive the car." Okay, it's a deal. A few weeks later, he comes back to the father and said, "Look, I improved my mark and I cleaned the room, so can I drive the car?" And the father said, "Oh, not so fast. You haven't cut your hair." "Well, I've been thinking about it, and I realized that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob probably had long hair, so why should I have to cut mine?" The father said, "Yeah, but they walk everywhere they went."
Not bad.
So,
Not bad at all.
I want to talk to you today about keep growing. And this is something that I was teaching this last week. It was interesting. I actually taught 2 Chanukah classes online this past week, which, by the way, we have a wonderful group. We meet every week, every Thursday at noon to study either Torah or the holidays. So you're always invited to join us. But we were studying Chanukah, and one of the things that we realized is that the word Chanukah that we usually translate as dedication, because it's talking about the rededication of the temple back the time of the Hasmoneans, it also contains the root chinuch, which means education. So one of the meanings of the word Chanukah, or one of the ways we should understand Chanukah, is a recommitment to education. But at the end of the day, what is education about? All this learning process. And I realized that one of the things that we have to learn about learning is that we should never stop. You can't plateau in your life. You can't reach one day and to say, "Okay, whatever I know, and it's enough, and there is no room for anything else." That's a big mistake. We have to have an attitude of continuing, growing in knowledge and in wisdom, to become better every day. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter how successful. Doesn't matter how many achievements you have. You have to always keep learning something new. You have to always grow. And this is interesting because in this week's Parsha, at the very beginning, for some reason I read something this year I never paid attention before. When the Parsha starts and it says, Vayeshev Yaakov, and Jacob settled in the land of his fathers. And Rashi actually is critical of Jacob on that opening line, because Rashi explains that with that Vayeshev Yaakov means, and Jacob settled, it means that he settled in life. He reached the point where he thought, "That's it. I'm going to sit here now on my tent and I'm going to relax for the rest of my life." And we know, for the events that happened right after that, that that's not the way life works. In fact, we're going to see that he kind of stopped the process of parenting his children, and it's going to end up in kind of a little tragedy that is going to keep evolving, and then we're going to solve it. Next week, we're going to see what happened. It's a fascinating story, but nevertheless, Rashi is critical of that attitude of Jacob, of saying, "This is enough. I'm here, and I don't want to keep doing anything else." We should learn from that mistake and becoming people that we are committed to continue growing. And what I'm saying this, because this is something that that we can all see that happens during these times that we have to stay at home. We cannot do much, and one of the biggest mistake we can make is not using that time at home to find something to increase our learning, to increase our knowledge, to increase our wisdom. We have an opportunity that sometimes we don't have commitments to do something else. that we can bring different kind of knowledge to our life. And this is very interesting. I usually bring to you stories or something that happened to other people, but I want to share with you something that happened to me in the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if you saw the video that we sent to the congregation this past week of Mao's tour. That is me singing, and Bonnie Robinson, I hope she's watching, playing the ukulele. You know that before the pandemic, she could barely play the instrument. But then during the pandemic, she used that time to improve her skills of playing the ukulele to the point that we were able to put together this song where she was my accompanist. And not only that, we do it long distance. She couldn't see me, I couldn't see her, and we do it nevertheless. So Bonnie, if you're watching, you should be very proud of yourself for doing this and to have this attitude of improving every day to the point that we were able to put together this video. But then it brings me back to Chanukah, which is exactly what we do. Have you realized that every night we add an extra light? The Talmud said that the original tradition of Chanukah was to light one candle per night. But it says those who wanted to beautify the mitzvah, they started to do first 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, so forth until 8. But it was this Rabbi Shammai, or the followers of Shammai, they said, no, it should be the opposite. We start with 8, we finish with 1. And Hillel said, no, you are missing the point. We have to start with 1 and finish with 8. Why? Because in life, we have to always increase and never to decrease. There is something very interesting encapsulated in that statement. Because it could have been enough for Hillel to say, we have to always increase. And leave it there, and it will be clear. Why adding, never decrease? Never to decrease. You know why? Because you have to always increase. And if you don't, it's not that you're going to stay there. You're going to start decreasing in knowledge and in wisdom. It doesn't exist such thing as plateauing in life. You have to always do something to keep it there or to improve it. Thinking about this, I don't know if you ever tried to lose weight. When you reach your goal, it doesn't stay there magically. You still have to do things to keep it there. And like that, many of the things in life. If you exercise, you can't say, okay, I like my muscles, I will leave it there. No, you have to keep doing it every day. Otherwise, you're going to start decreasing. And this is a very important teaching that we should also learn from Chanukah and from the menorah. So this year, when you see all these lights, and when you see the light increasing every day, why don't we all invite that concept, that principle into our life? And to find ways where we can increase something every day. Because remember, if we don't find ways to increase, unfortunately the result is, little by little, we'll start decreasing. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.